In this video, we're going to go over random number generation. So random numbers are used for, well, what I use them for is mainly simulations. If I'd like to do something over and over and it requires a random number because there's a chance of different things happening, well, I would use a random. So the first thing we need to do is we need to have an import java.util.star, and we do that at the very beginning of the program. So what this is, I haven't gone over it yet in this course. It's a set of instructions that Java needs to use to generate a random number, but it doesn't really have it in its regular library. More about that later on in the course. So to generate a number, let's say I want to random rand is what I normally call it, equals new random, open close parentheses, and then a semicolon. So rand is what Java uses to generate the number. The rest of this is a class that it calls to do that. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Just know that you can put anything where I have rand. For example, I could put Joey there. I'll actually stick with Joey for this tutorial. Let's say I want a integer. Well, I need to first declare the integer, and I'll say num. So I'm going to generate a random integer. How about I roll a dice? So I want it between between 1 and 6. So num equals joey.next int, and I put my maximum value there, and a semicolon. So if I run this, it's actually going to generate what you would think. It will generate a number between 0 inclusive and 6 exclusive. That means it could generate a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and it won't actually generate a 6. So, what I do is, I'll leave it like that, and I write +1 here. So, now whatever number it generates, it will add 1 to it, which will bring me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, which is what a proper dice should have on it. And then I can print my num. So I'm only going to print this one time, and it'll be 3. If I run this again, 4, 1, 3, 2, 6. You'll just have to take my word for it that it's not going to generate a 7. I'm not going to print this too many times. So let's say I would like a decimal. So first I go with a type of variable that can hold a decimal, which a double can hold the decimal, and I'll call my decimal deci. So to generate a decimal, I would say int joey equals joey.next double. I'm going to close parentheses and put a semicolon there. Oh, actually, small correction. I would write deci here. Okay, so like I said earlier, Joey is what is used to generate the double. I got confused because I wasn't using rand there. I always use rand. But anyways, so if I print out deci, it will give me a number between 0 and 1 exclusive. So it means this decimal could be anywhere between 0, including 0. It could just be all zeros, but the chances of that are really low. And it could be 0.9999 all the way to 17 nines. But it will never get to 1. It will always be one of those two numbers or in between them. I can show you a few more times. You see I keep running this and it's never below 0 and it's never above, or it never gets quite to 1. And you'll just have to trust me that it will never will. So the last thing I would like to go over is generating a number in a specific range. So I went over a way to do that inside my J201 course, and we're going to use that same formula here. So int, we'll make it a integer. We want the integer between two values. We'll call it integer randy equals joey.next int. And the way we do that is we do our maximum value. Let's put a comment here. max value of, let's go, 75, min value of -10. Okay, so we want to be able to be 75, and we want to be able to be -10. So the formula that we use is inside the second set of parentheses, we have our max number, and we subtract our min number, which is minus -10. After that, we're going to add 1 to it. We could have just subtracted -9 here, but I think it's easier to remember this way than just always increment it by one time. So this is how I do it. And then we add on our minimum number again. And that will give us the a number between -10 and 75. So we'll print Randy. So the last thing that we print will be an integer: 51, 42, 36, 69, 42. I'll keep running this a few times. I should get a... Well, I know how to get a negative number. I will just change my max value to 5. See, there I got -9, -9, -2, 5, and I'm not going to run this any more times, but you'll just have to take my word for it that it can get to -10. Anyways, I hope this gave you a little insight to how random numbers are generated, how they end up just, if you use a double, they'll put a whole bunch of 9s, possibly, not likely, but possibly. So you know really the range of numbers that can be generated. Anyways, this formula is great to memorize. I strongly suggest memorizing that formula. Hope you liked the video. If you do, and you'd like to see more tutorials similar to this one, hit that subscribe button down below. Like this video so others will be more likely to see it. And remember, this is on a giant playlist that I'm teaching a Java course on. So, if you want to learn a whole lot about Java, this playlist would be great for you. Anyways, thanks for watching.